And we're back with part 2 of this special emergency edition of Texting. In the first half, we talked about Tomek's trip to the Caucasus region. And in this second half, we will talk about Mark Will's trip to Bangkok. Now, my trip was much shorter than yours, I think. How long were you in the Caucasus region altogether?
About a week.
A week, okay. So my trip was a weekend trip, and there was one purpose of this trip, and that was to allow my travel companion to try marijuana for the first time. That was really the purpose.
Family-friendly episode.
Yeah, not easy to do that in Taiwan. Not impossible, but not easy. So, of course, in Thailand, as you may know, it's been legalized. So, there are dispensaries everywhere. And we'll see evidence of that in the slides that follow. But first, what we're looking at is a map of Thailand and the surrounding countries. Up in the right-hand corner, you can see Taiwan. And so we flew in a southwesterly direction to Bangkok. And just like your flight, ours was about 4 hours. So from Taipei to Bangkok there in Thailand, it's about a 4-hour flight.
Nice.
Okay, now the next slide is the notes that I took on my phone during the trip. Of course, I always document my trip as I plan to write about it most of the time. Even short trips like this may yield a Substack article. So this helps me remember all of the points I want to touch upon. And eventually I will write that Substack post with pictures. So this podcast episode is a nice prelude to that, and it helps me organize my thoughts. Now let me just go down the list here, and then you tell me if you have any questions about anything on the list, because they are rather idiosyncratic notes. So the list is headed Siamese Dream, and then below that it says one night or two in Bangkok, broccoli and the human brain, people are apes, stoned ape, killer ape. People are beautiful but also terrifying. City of angels. Anxiety, disturbing thoughts. Synchronicity. Heavy eyelashes like dinosaur wings. Horror of heavy brows. Humans as vegetables. Compare the vegetable painter Giuseppe Arcimboldo. Winks from women, ladyboys. Swaying, boat ride, noisy neighbors, Wat Arun equals Mishima's Temple of Dawn, Mary's Mosaic, dry throat, cottonmouth, sweet and spicy, no marijuana or kratom, prosty, and sunglasses, Ray-Bans. All right, anything there get your attention?
Well, I feel like you should choose a specific number. I don't think we have time for me to ask every single one.
Of course
so
not.
Maybe you should give me.
So you just.
Why don't you give me a number and I get to choose a certain number for you to. Unless you're going to talk about them later on.
Yeah, I'll talk about them later on. The pictures will relate to some of these, but just at first glance, what questions do you have?
The most intriguing chapter titles, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
I like Broccoli and the Human Brain. People are beautiful but also terrifying. Anxiety, disturbing thoughts. Humans as Vegetables, Winks from Women, Ladyboys. Those would be the chapter titles I would click on first.
Okay. Well, they're. I don't know that they're chapter titles. They're just kind of random.
No, I'm just saying if they were,
Right.
that would be where
I
I would.
understand. Well, the heading Siamese Dream is interchangeable with the next line, one night or two in Bangkok. Like whatever the whenever I get around to writing the Substack post, one of those will be the title, either Siamese Dream or One Night or Two in Bangkok. Now, I recently traveled to Hong Kong. That was in the summer, and we had like a Hong Kong theme song, and that was Susie and the Banshees, Hong Kong Garden. So, like, we began every day with that song, and throughout the day we, referred to the song, and lines from the song seem to confront us everywhere we went. Like in a way we were discovering hidden meanings to the song as we actually made our way through Hong Kong. And similarly, in this trip to the City of Angels in Thailand, our theme song was One Night in Bangkok, which is, musically much less impressive than the Susie and the Banshees song, but there were a lot of lines that seemed to have relevance. So,
well, I saw Chess performed in Moscow actually, and that was my first kind of exposure to that song. I don't know if we chatted about it at the time or not, but
well,
yeah.
See,
so
I remember when it came out. I remember when it was on FM radio.
Okay, nice.
And I
liked it.
I remember the video.
Found it catchy.
You know that the ABBA guys wrote it, right?
Ah, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they may have had another collaborator. The song itself is performed by a British guy called Murray Head, but the ABBA guys wrote it. And Tim Rice was involved too. He's
nice.
Done some musical theater with, I want to say, Elton John.
John.
Yeah, they did Aida, right?
Lion King as well.
And Lion King, there you go. All right, so anyway.
Okay. I was going to do the Not So Pena thing. But
anyway. Lord. I thought you were going to do Hakuna Matata. All right, so let's just get into the picks. What do you see there?
Let's get into the food, son.
What do you see there?
The food, son.
As soon as we got off the plane, this was like, we arrived like 11 p.m. on a Friday night. Took the taxi from the airport to our very nice hotel. It was the Ambassador, and we got a great deal on it. But we went out walking and found a 24-hour place. And what do you see there? What food do you see?
Well, I see what almost looks like a kimchi jjigae on the right side, but I don't think that's kimchi jjigae.
No,
right?
That's tom yum.
Okay.
And then you don't like that? The seafood soup, spicy?
I'm not crazy about seafood.
Okay.
I like kimchi jjigae. That's all I'll say about that.
No, it's not that. But on the left, what do you see? I know you like that.
No, I don't like it. I see my enemy, bro. Because you just remind me of how on my trips to Thailand, I had a carefully constructed card which I would carry around and show people about my allergies because I'm allergic, to peanuts, coconut. And in Thailand, I throw up at least once every time I go.
Oh, really?
So I like Thai food, in theory, in principle, but I have to avoid all these foods.
I thought you liked pad thai, which is what we're looking at. You knew that, right?
I do like it.
That is pad thai. You know that, right?
Okay, I didn't know. I mean, I guess it's logical that it's pad thai, yeah. And I do like it if it can be prepared with all my dietary accommodations.
I knew you had an allergy to sesame because the word for that sounds like dog in Korean, and everyone, yeah,
개 배고 주세요.
everyone thought you,
개 알레르기 있어요.
everyone thought you were saying no dog, please.
Yeah, I was constantly being xenophobic.
Okay, I thought you liked pad thai. That's one reason I
do like pad thai, bro, but it has to be without that peanut topping.
Oh, I love it. Now, you see the condiments next to that? This is interesting because this is one of my, I'm sure it's not an original observation, but I just think that phrase sweet and spicy describes so much of Thailand, you know. You got some sugar here and then some spicy stuff and a couple of other, you know, sauces that you can include. I don't think we did. We just mixed, you know, what was on the plate here, but sweet and spicy was a theme that seemed to recur.
Nice. So it's your metaphorical characterization of Thailand, yeah?
All right, and then here's like the purpose of the trip. This is just one example of a dispensary, and they were everywhere.
So I haven't been to Thailand since weed became legal.
Mm-hmm.
So how has it affected things for better or worse, in your opinion?
Well, hard to say because I don't think I stayed in this part of Bangkok before. I mean, I never spent a lot of time in Bangkok. I spent much more time in Chiang Mai, you know, in the north. So I can't really say, but business is booming. I mean, there are large shops, there are small storefronts, there are people selling weed out of carts. There are Nigerian guys selling it illegally, I presume.
How do you know the Nigerian? Just wondering.
I mean, that's my assumption.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I would say they're Yoruba, but I don't know for sure.
And are there any restrictions that... Yeah, what are the restrictions? Like, is it available all throughout Thailand or in certain areas of Bangkok? What's the deal?
I don't know. I mean, it was certainly in the area where we were, and I think, you know, across the city, although maybe some areas have more of these dispensaries than others. Maybe we just ended up in the right place, which, I mean, we didn't even research it in advance. We just picked the hotel. Okay, that's a good deal. Let's go to the Ambassador. And then once we checked in, actually on the way there in the taxi, we saw all of these places. So as soon as we checked in and left our bags in the room, we just went back outside and walked around, and they were everywhere. So we just went shopping, asked some questions. I mean, we knew that we were going to do edibles, so we didn't buy any smoke. But you know, we went in the shops and asked some questions, and you know, they had gummies. People had gummies. We ended up getting a nice cookie from a guy who just had a small little storefront. I think it was almost like he was in a little trailer, you know, and with a sliding glass door. And so we just went in there, asked questions, and bought a cookie.
And you just trusted that this guy would be good. You didn't have any reviews or anything?
Oh, I mean, like, he's a licensed dealer. Like, he has a legitimate business with a storefront and, you know, like official, you'll see the actual product, and you know, it's like a brand, and there's a phone number on it, and you know, it's all...
Yeah, I'm the kind of guy who just geeks out on reviews. Like, when we travel, it has to be like 4.5.
Oh, no. I just
for restaurants and stuff.
I just wanted to ask some questions, you know, and
okay.
But
And what was the reason you guys wanted to do edibles
well, that's just my
rather than smoke?
just my preference, you know. Like it's have you ever done edibles?
Yeah, and I would say like I would not. I mean, I would prefer smoke because edibles can be super strong,
That's
and you don't
and
know how hard it's going to hit
and
you
and
until
they were. There's an interesting story about that, but I want to save it. But
yeah. So basically, my experience with edibles have been like super intense.
well,
Whereas like
that's what
with a joint, you could have a couple hits
right.
and be like, I'm gonna chill and see where I'm at.
Well, that's true. But that was part of the purpose because I wanted to have like an almost psychedelic experience, and you know, I wanted my traveling companion to as well.
Yeah.
And it did work out that way for me. Now you mentioned like the broccoli and the human brain chapter, as you called it, and the people as vegetables, humans as vegetables. This is like the psychedelic imagery that I was seeing. Like I don't know if I was in touch with like the vegetative nature of humanity, but I did have a very clear image of like broccoli resembling the architecture of the human brain. And I remember thinking that, you know, broccoli must be good brain food. Like when we're eating broccoli, we're feeding our brains. And then
it is for sure.
And then I also had to, you know, stop myself because as I passed certain people on the street, I just saw their faces as like vegetative, and that's why I was thinking of that Italian painter Giuseppe Arcimboldo. You know, this guy that painted people as vegetables.
I think so.
So I actually saw, as I walked down the street, I saw people that looked like that, and it was disturbing. This is what triggered that anxiety. My travel partner, I should say, just didn't have like these psychological reactions. She just felt like you know, stress relief and body high and relaxed, and you know, just felt really pleasant, euphoric. I did too, and I was laughing a lot, but I realized like I'm more anxious than she is, and like I have some strange neuroses that I would just observe. I wasn't like terrified of them like you might be if you have a bad psychedelic trip, or you know, if you have a bad experience with mushrooms or LSD or something. But I just kind of
last time, yeah,
I just kind of registered like, oh, I have some strange thoughts and anxieties. That's all. It didn't, and I noticed that the last time I did edibles too. You know, I didn't obsess over them, which is good. I just observed them, and I thought, you know, it just became something I viewed from afar. It was like I was watching myself from above. I just had a different perspective on it, which is good, you know. I think it's nice to have a different perspective on things, and to get outside of oneself from time to time. Although I'll have to say, you know, like after this experience, which was quite intense, like I'm good for at least another year, you know, maybe more. So
that sounds very much like my experiences with edibles, and also like my experiences with mushrooms. Like it takes a lot out of me emotionally and mentally.
Well, the mushrooms are another matter. I should say that we were told, because I heard about mushroom shakes in Thailand too. You can get mushroom shakes, and I thought, maybe that would be, you want to talk about a different perspective on things, maybe that would be better than edibles even. So I asked around, and I was told, in Bangkok, no way, you can't get mushroom shakes. But you go outside Bangkok, go up to Chiang Mai, go to Pai, you can,
or those islands,
yeah,
where it's just
the
like it's full of
islands,
tourists.
absolutely. You can get them there. They're probably on the menu. And so, okay, next time, when we have more time, we go to the islands and, try a mushroom shake, maybe ecstasy. I'd be open to that. I'm not sure about the legality of it, but it's it's accepted. It's like opium on the menu in Laos. It's probably technically illegal, but there it is. So anyway, this time edibles. Long story short, we had a wonderful experience, but I'll explain more in a bit. Let's move on. This is interesting because it seems very Hindu to me, but
What's Ganesh?
exactly. So what's that doing there? I mean, has Ganesh been incorporated into the Buddhist theology somehow, or is there another elephant god I don't know about? It looks Indian, right? It looks Hindu.
I mean, there is a relationship between Hinduism and Buddhism.
Well, of course.
I'm sure you know.
Of course, that's the origin. I mean,
right.
The Buddha was Hindu just as Jesus was a Jew, like Judaism gave birth to Christianity. And,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But still, what I'm saying. You might...
Yeah, no, you don't really see the active worship in this sense.
You would expect to see this maybe in Bali or something, but in Thailand, it was somewhat surprising to me. This is just a picture of a tuk-tuk, which is the, Isn't
it tuk-tuk?
Sure. Tuk-tuk.
Okay.
They have these in the Philippines too, so it was nice to compare. And this is just a very economical means of transportation. Made me feel nostalgic for the time. I mean, I hadn't been in Thailand in probably 12 years. I think it is 12 years, so.
That sounds about, I mean, since Korea for you?
Yes. It was right before I came to Taiwan.
Yeah, so similar for me, and I very much want to go back both to Thailand and Korea,
I haven't been back
I know
to
they're
Korea
waiting for me
either.
for the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either. So it's weird that you have this place that you have such an intimate relationship with, which just is now sort of exists, but doesn't exist at the same time, right? It's weird. But I remember one thing about the tuk-tuk drivers that people used to kind of worry about them to some extent, because a lot of these guys would be like using some kind of drug, like some kind of chewy, I don't know if it was like beetle or something, but it was
beetle nut.
Yeah. And so and I think that the pressure to work long hours is really intense. I don't think it's good for your health, that job. I mean, especially in Bangkok.
No, I wouldn't think so. The truck driver,
you're whipping around at night like a maniac.
Truck drivers here chew beetle nut notoriously.
Yeah,
it looks like they're vampires. Their mouths seem to be dripping with blood, but it's the beetle juice. Right. I mean, it's not beetle nut.
I think I've seen those guys snorting stuff too.
Well, probably. I mean,
but not coke, like some other kind of like stimulants,
Yeah. Maybe Adderall.
They're not. I don't know. I think it was something kind of. Just anyway, yeah. Tough job. My sympathies for those guys.
Moving on here. Do you remember that before you enter the Wats, the temples, you have to cover your legs?
I respect those trousers, bro.
I had to purchase those.
That's swag.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I was in shorts. You'll see those later, but I couldn't enter without covering my legs. So, of course, they have shops lined up next to all the temples so you can cover yourself, and that they're.
You look like a real Lermontovian dandy.
Oh yeah, Southeast Asian style. I think
Absolutely.
this is the, I want to say, the palace temple. I can't remember the name. This is before the edible, so.
I was gonna ask if it was the hangover or
No.
the.
This is
Okay.
the Saturday after the Friday that we flew in. So
Gotcha.
we had breakfast, a wonderful buffet at the Ambassador Hotel, man.
Very good. Very good.
And then
I assume they're sponsoring this podcast, yeah?
what's that? Oh yeah,
I
they
assume
should.
they're a sponsor
Yeah,
for this podcast.
they need to sponsor us. So I mention the Friday night after we arrived and went shopping, we bought a cookie. Okay, we bought an edible, and the plan was to consume it sometime on Saturday. So this is Saturday. We went and did some sightseeing, some, I guess, sacred sightseeing, right? Like we went to temples, and then we went and had lunch at this place. This sign, the grammar is interesting, but it says, no matter how big your house is, how recent your car is, that is, how new your car is, or how big your bank account is, our graves will always be the same size. Stay humble. So that was like
Nice.
the spiritual message we received before we ingested the cookie for dessert. So
I like that.
So
Kendrick Lamar, baby.
So we had I think we again had pad thai and a fruit drink. And then for dessert, we split the cookie, a chocolate chip cookie, which tasted very, how shall I say, green. You could taste the herb. I mean, it was like a very strong flavor. Now, I guess at this point, I should say the cookie was 100 milligrams. So we split it. We each had 50 milligrams. Now, it had been a while since I had done edibles, and I never asked about milligrams. I just, was told, okay, eat half a brownie, eat a whole brownie, whatever. Okay, I didn't know how many milligrams was in it. I just ate it, and then 90 minutes later shot off into interstellar space.
Bon voyage.
Exactly. Well, after 90 minutes, right? So
yeah, it takes a while for sure.
So yeah, I had the first time I did edibles, that was interesting. I didn't.
Yeah, bro, I got stories for edibles, but maybe we'll save them for another time.
Not patient, but anyway, I talked to some friends in the States after I got back, and I told them, what we did. They said, "What? I do like 5 to 10 milligrams, 20 if I'm feeling adventurous. You did 50 each?" And so you can imagine.
But I mean, these things are hard to quantify. I'm not trying to play the damper, but everything is about it's not the weight.
I know.
Itself. I
know. There's metabolism and all that, but let me just tell.
There's levels of concentration.
Okay, but we got bombed. I mean, it was.
Yes, I feel you. I feel you.
So just bear that in mind as we continue. So this is the beginning. We see this nice message. We eat the cookie, and then we go to the next Wat, and I don't remember all the names. We went to several Wats, and after, I don't know, a Wat or two, things started to happen. This is what we ate. You can see the box that says Ganja and Farm, Big Stoner Company Limited, and there's the phone number. So the cookie was in that little box.
Nice. I'll add that to my WhatsApp contacts.
Yes. Well, you'll have to find the guy's little storefront. But if you do that, just eat a quarter, don't eat a half. That'd be my recommendation. Well, I mean,
Thank
it
you.
depends on what you want to happen. Okay, so yeah, we ate that, and then we went to the next Wat, and then we saw this, and I started feeling a little bit trippy around here. Now, I don't remember. I think I'd been to this Wat before, but I don't remember seeing this. So we're looking at a human with a deer head and antlers, and then some kind of Western looking guy doing the splits. All of this was
Pretty badass, both of those statues.
but strange, right? Like, what are they doing? That's not Buddhist iconography, it's like what's
Right.
going on there? So I started asking that question, and I think it was at this point that I started laughing my ass off. And these
Laughing is better than shrieking.
And these sculptures,
or gnashing,
added to that hilarity I was feeling. All right, and then
I like the flexibility.
And then I decided to bang a gong in Bangkok. You may have seen one of the videos. Actually, I banged quite a few gongs in Bangkok.
I bet you did.
Yeah, that has more than one meaning. So that
your calves are rather well defined, sir.
Well,
you must work out.
Oh, sure I do. I ride that bike.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was like I was definitely starting to feel it here, so I did this in slow motion. There's a video, which I'm not showing, but you can just see the still. It took me like 5 minutes to actually swing the mallet and touch the gong in the lightest possible way.
Yeah, because you meant to hit it gently.
Yeah, well, then we took a boat ride to Wat Arun, the Temple of Dawn. And this is where Mishima comes in, but I just want to remind you of how dirty this river is.
Mm.
Do you remember that? I had forgotten. It's really not. I mean, look at that brown water. It's not attractive. It's not a particularly clean and pristine and sightly river.
Now, are you still able to... Did you still completely have your wits about you? Because when I've had edibles, I've had itineraries planned for what's going to happen, and I very much had to abandon them just because it required way too much kind of precision to keep my plans.
At this point, things were still manageable. It was just like, some uncontrollable laughter and some euphoria, and I'm told that I was like swaying, and then we got on a boat, and so that was pretty trippy. But it's a short, we just went across the river to the temple, and the temple.
No difficulty with practical matters so far.
Something happened later. I started to doubt myself, but my travel companion was very confident and knew exactly what was happening. I kept asking, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yeah, of course." I was like, "Okay," and I just entrusted it.
You trusted her, nice.
Well, and I just I felt like I trusted the universe. I trusted her, of course.
Yeah.
But also I just said, it's going to be fine. Everything is going to be fine.
Yeah.
There's no,
cool.
I had some consciousness of these anxieties and these, I don't know, disturbing thoughts and, people as vegetables. Oh, and then there's that other line. It seems banal now, but at the time it seemed profound. The line was, people are beautiful, but also, what did I say? People are beautiful,
terrifying,
but also terrifying. Yeah. I mean, that sounds pretty insipid now, but that
No, I'm not into the judging stuff as banal because it's just everything is just about like the intensity of how you feel it. The most profound things, something like "be here now," that could sound trite, but it's like the most profound thing you could ever say. Really, like
okay.
if you
Well,
are,
thanks
you know
thanks
what I'm
for
saying?
your yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thanks for your affirmation. I just didn't, in retrospect. Well, even at the time, I was saying, I know that's not very eloquent, but I feel that intensely. Like I as I looked at these vegetative creatures, these human vegetables, as I looked at them, I thought they're all beautiful, but at the same time, they're fucking terrifying. Like they're capable of anything. These people will rape you, they'll murder you, they'll slit your throat, they'll steal from you.
Happy thoughts.
Yeah. So I just,
Let's keep it sweet and spicy. Sweet and spicy.
well, but I wasn't like afraid. I just thought, oh, that, so
No, I'm just fucking with you, man.
people are capable of that. And that's where I had that thought of the dichotomy of the stoned ape versus the killer ape. It's like maybe after all, um, mushrooms and plants are the basis of civilization. Like that's how maybe it was the stoned ape that led to civilization, or some other intoxicant. Maybe it was like barley or fermented, you know, some fermented drink. You know what I'm saying? Like it was maybe that experience which caused the human ape to question his role as the killer ape, and then he became the stoned ape and said, "Oh, let's create rather than destroy." But of course, both impulses are still there, and I felt that very strongly. Like, and as often happens, like when I have this experience with edibles, I don't even know, like, is it real? Am I just completely deluding myself, or am I like having some profound insight? And then it doesn't even matter. It's like this could be total nonsense, but it's interesting either way. It's really a trip within a trip. It's a literal trip,
Yeah.
and then there was a trip within the trip, like a play within the play. So meta, baby.
I think the intensity is like the thing that sticks out for me. Like when you're having an experience like that, it's just intense.
Well, and so we have the boat ride across the river to the Temple of Dawn. This is Wat Arun. And
Temple of Doom.
And while I'm there, I'm thinking, wait, is this Mishima's Temple of Dawn? Like the third novel in his tetralogy is called The Temple of Dawn. That's the one that is like set for the most part in Thailand. And then, I looked it up, and of course that's what it is. Wat Arun is Mishima's Temple of Dawn. Look at that.
Sweet.
Look at that. And so I reread certain passages in that when I got home, and it reminded me of how much I love Mishima and that Sea of Fertility tetralogy. But the Wat Arun, this is where the reclining Buddha is, right? Am I right about that, or am I confusing it with one of the other Wats?
I'm not sure.
All right. Anyway, here, what do you see here? This is mango and sticky rices, it says, but okay, mango sticky rice, which is
looks nice.
I don't love that, but it's okay. It's good. But here's the thing: my travel companion had never tried this, and it was like on
this particular combination.
No, it never had mango sticky rice. It's just a Thai thing. She hadn't been to Thailand, so it was just like on her list. She saw it on some blog. She wanted to try it, and so okay, we go to Wat Arun. We take the ferry back to the other side of the river. We get off. We're walking. Okay, we're walking along, and at this point, it's really kicked in. Like we're both high. We're both laughing. We're kind of in a daze, and I say, "Oh, we have to make sure that you try the mango sticky rice." And I turn to my right, and this is the sign I see.
Nice.
Synchronicity. I mean,
Yeah.
it was unbelievable. And so I said, "Do you see what just happened? This I've experienced this so many times, this kind of synchronicity." And I stood outside. I was explaining it to her for like 5 minutes. And I kept laughing and she kept laughing. I'm like, "You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah." And she's laughing. I'm like, "You saw it, right? It happened. I didn't imagine that. I was saying we need to get some mango sticky rice so you can try it." And then I turned and there was the sign. "You saw it, right? You saw that, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then we were just laughing. And so, of course, we had to go in. We went into this place and sat down, and somehow we ordered, even though we were completely stoned by this point. And there is a video of it, which, for privacy reasons, I'm not going to show here. But we documented that and, tried to like explain what we were feeling. And there was a lot of laughter in the video. And just so you know, we did get the mango sticky rice. Somehow we managed to order it. It was good.
It looks good.
It was good. I don't love mango, but, it was all right. The sweetness is good. And then there's the spice. So you got your sweet with the mango sticky rice. And I guess that's some kind of sugar coconut sauce. And then there's...
I see some water bottles with Wat Arun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
In the corner.
I guess did they give us that there? I don't know. But there's the tom yum again, the spicy seaweed soup. So again, and I think this is where I had that profound insight. You see, Thailand is sweet and spicy, and then that probably led to another 10-minute philosophical discourse that, only I was able to follow. And I'm not even sure. I should have recorded that. See how disjointed it would appear now, but that in retrospect, it still makes sense. Sweet and spicy, right?
It's a both and as well. It's like a both and. Like you won't feel it to be particularly profound probably when you're not high, but that doesn't make it not profound when you're high.
But it is a good descriptor of Thailand, sweet and spicy. Even the people, even I don't know, just the culture in general.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Let's carry on. I think there's some more food here. Okay, this is interesting. Let me just back up a bit. So, can you see what we're looking at here?
Yeah. I'm seeing some nice fast food ads.
Well, this is like for those that are just listening, we've got a couple of Western style eating establishments, ads for those eating establishments. We got Taco Bell on the left and Burger King on the right. So after we leave Wat Arun, we travel back, we ferry back across the river. We have the experience of synchronicity. We get the mango sticky rice, and somehow we make it back to the hotel. And we just had to crash pretty soon. Like it just knocked us on our asses, and so we slept very, very deeply and very.
What time was it?
It was early, man. It was like 5, and
Yeah. No, I mean that's understandable.
It was like 5 or 6.
And how long did you sleep for?
Long.
Like all night?
I think so. Very deeply. I think we got up early and went back down to the. You know what we did first? Yeah, that's what happened. We woke up, I guess. Maybe it was around midnight, and then we were hungry. We had the munchies as one does, and
right.
So we went out, and I had seen the Taco Bell before. I haven't been to Taco Bell in probably 20 years. I'm like, I'm going there. So we did, and we pigged out on some burritos and tacos and nachos and I don't know what. Probably had a nasty Coca-Cola as well, or Pepsi or whatever they had. But then I also saw
wash it down, son.
I also saw this crazy Burger King ad. We didn't eat this, fortunately, but can you see what this says? It's a black Whopper. There's like a black bun with some sesame seeds on it. It doesn't. I don't know about that black bread. Is it rye or?
We kind of have that kind of trend in Russia. And people will go to places like that and they'll put on some, plastic gloves and eat these like black.
What is that?
Buns
what is it?
Stuff. I don't know. I haven't had it, but it's like it's a thing.
It's rye, not rye. Would rye bread be black? Is black bread?
It might be, but I don't think it's anything as sophisticated as rye bread. I think it's
just probably food coloring on a regular
maybe an aesthetic.
bun.
Yeah, maybe it's an aesthetic.
All right, and then next to that is something called pink fish. So there's a fucking pink bun, and I guess it's a fish patty inside, and it looks like some nasty cheese on it. I just thought, what is that? Is that just like a Thai specialty? I mean, I don't know.
You must try the pink fish, sir. It's very good.
I was disturbed by that.
I had to throw in some cultural appropriation.
I was disturbed by that. Yeah, there were some funny, like on the transit, the metro. Their metro system is terribly inefficient and inconvenient. I don't know if you remember that. I had forgotten, but not type.
I remember kind of like a sky tram.
Well, that's called the BTS, I want to say, but or is that the name of
BTS? That's Korean, the Korean pop group.
But I think it's that too. Is Bangkok Transit Service or something? Okay, Skytrain or something? Yeah, I was just thinking that is the Korean boy band, but no, they also have an MRT, which is what it's called in Taipei too. But that's Taipei's MRT is much more efficient, much better organized. Like it's you have to like line up to buy a token every time. It's not. I didn't like it. It was very inconvenient. Anyway,
even locals. I mean, there's no.
Well, they can probably buy
no card payment
pass, but there's always a line. I thought it was terrible. Long waits.
Okay.
Anyway, we kept passing this place called Bangsi. We kept hearing that over and over again. Bangsi. Bang is like river town, river village. Like Bangkok is the olive river town, Bangkok. And then we kept seeing and hearing Bangsi. So we were like laughing about the Thai pronunciation. Bangsi. Bangsi. That became like an inside joke. We're still saying Bangsi now. But that's one of the stops in Bangkok, the city of angels, the Thai city of angels. All right, what else we have? Let's wrap this up pretty soon. We're bumping up on 2 hours.
Got a pretty.
Here.
I won't say it's a beautiful breakfast.
Oh yes, well, it's not. That's not the best picture, but I just wanted to point out that they had like a Western style breakfast. Yeah, the picture is not good at all, but that omelet.
I'm no longer going to be staying at the Ambassador, just so you know.
Oh, you should, man. It's great. This was like I want to say 30, $5 a night with the breakfast buffet, which was amazing. Again, this is not the best picture, but I just wanted to document the Western style breakfast. Of course, they had Thai and Chinese and Indian and all kinds of other stuff, but I love me a good Western style breakfast with an omelet and bacon. Those aren't my baked beans. I don't like that, but anyway, that is available too. And then you can see the Thai milk tea.
Not of the hat to the Brits.
The Thai milk tea, which was pretty good. Well, this is
I'm looking at some images of
this is also a thing in the Philippines too. Baked beans for breakfast.
Yeah. No, I was saying I'm looking at some images of what purports to be the ambassador. Maybe there's more than one, but it looks like a pretty sweet swimming pool.
Oh yeah,
that's for sure.
We didn't end up swimming. I think our plan was to do that when we were high, but we had to sleep, and then the pool was closed by the time we got around to it.
Yeah. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Taco Bell.
Well, that was after the pool had closed.
I know,
anyway.
bro.
All right, so yeah, I think after Taco Bell we went and crashed again for another.
Bro, that salami shit does not look good though.
That's not salami.
There's some dried
that is
fruit
not
there.
salami. That is that's
okay, what
Chinese
is that?
style sausage. Or are you talking about the white stuff?
Yeah, I'm talking.
Oh
about,
yeah, that is.
I'm talking about the white
That
stuff.
is some kind of chicken sauce, chicken patty, something.
Patty or pate.
Again, I didn't choose that, but it was edible.
It's all good.
No, the Western style breakfast is it's great. All right, let's see what else we have here. So this was the day after.
This is an impressive image.
This is the day after. We were still, I don't know. There was like an after effect.
High.
I wouldn't say that, but we were out of it. Actually.
But usually, like the day after, I oftentimes prefer that buzz because it's like you're still floating, like out of it, but floating, with less anxiety. Yeah, well, I often enjoy that day a lot.
I'll just say that I don't think I fully recovered. It took about a week. Like it.
Yeah,
it was intense. But anyway, I think I want to say this is the largest golden Buddha in the world. Is that what the little leaflet said? And I don't even remember which Wat this is at. I know we
really. So how big is that? Because I assumed it was just kind of, I don't know. Is it like a life-size human or much bigger?
Maybe this is not the right picture. I don't know.
Okay.
That can't be right. The reclining Buddha is obviously much bigger than that. Maybe the largest upright Buddha. I don't know. We went somewhere and it was advertising itself as the home of like the largest golden Buddha in the world or something like that. Maybe the reclining Buddha is not actually gold. But I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of that is just surface paint.
Yeah, I'm not a very good tour guide at the moment, but the Watts began to run together, and that became like a running joke too. I kept saying
that kind of claw-like object in the bottom left is pretty crazy.
You didn't let me tell my joke. I kept saying Watts.
My bad.
Up. Yeah, the claw thing. What is that? I don't know. I don't know what it is. Buddhist iconography. Do we have anything else?
We've got you doing the way.
The why, yeah.
Why?
And next to me is do you know what this creature is called? This is like a Thai angel. Maybe this is why Bangkok is the city of angels, because there's a lot of these around. This is the Kinari. It's a half female, half bird creature with lovely exposed breasts, and she's
absolutely, those are cute.
She's doing the Y, and I'm imitating her. So I'm standing.
It's a nice picture.
Yeah. Is that the
You
last
look
one?
cleanly shaven.
Well, I had like the day that we ate the cookie. I was on like my 6th day of bearded negligence, and so
Okay.
I shaved that morning, and I guess I was still high because I nicked myself pretty badly. You can't see it.
Okay.
It's the other side, but on the left side, I gashed my face. So fortunately, that can't be seen. But yeah, I was more or less clean shaven, although, it had been a few hours, so I started to have my little shadow. Is that it? No,
No, we've got a sculpture of you in the last
oh
shot.
yeah, that's me without my hat. So I know this is Wat Saket because we got trapped here. We were like up on the 3rd level or maybe the 4th level, and the wind it was like a typhoon hit suddenly. There was really
A
a
typhoon?
typhoon,
Eh,
which we also have in Taiwan. But
Nice.
yeah, the wind was, and it had those temple bells, and they were just like,
Going
yeah,
nuts.
the bells were ringing uncontrollably, and the flag, there were all these flags waving too. I think there's a video of that somewhere. But yeah, that we're looking at a little sculpture of a monk, a bald monk in an orange, is that a saffron colored robe? And as I took that picture, some guy in the background is like, I don't know if he was
Yeah,
upset or
that's
what, but he's like, "Who, me? Do we need to cover his face?" I don't know. I mean,
I think that's just his way of saying
yeah.
cheese.
So I think that's it. Any questions now that we're up on 2 hours? Hey, it was like an hour for each half of this episode.
Yeah, as usual, we couldn't stick to our hopeful times, but I think it was very interesting, bro. I think you should definitely publish that Substack article based around your trip notes, and yeah, I think it's an inspiring trip. It makes me miss Thailand and the recklessness of doing something like eating edibles, which I haven't done in a while. So
Well, next
yeah,
time we go, it'll be the mushroom shakes and whatever else we can find on the islands, perhaps, depending on how long we stay there. But it was a wonderful experience. My travel companion had a very positive um, experience. So mission accomplished. That's all I
and
can
is
say.
Russia your next planned trip, or do you
Yeah.
have anything
Well, there might
between
be a
now and
short
then?
little something to maybe back to Thailand, maybe back to the Philippines, maybe to Bali or something, or maybe something in Taiwan. But yeah, the next major excursion will be to visit my old friend Tomek and his lovely wife Liliana in the great Russian city of St. Petersburg.
Do you have any update at all on what that visa application might look like, or
Uh, no, but
have you guys?
we'll
Okay,
visit the embassy soon.
okay,
I
cool,
know I
man.
said that before, but maybe this coming week. All right, so let's wrap it up here. As we record, it is November what? November.
18th for me, 19th for
Okay,
you.
so we're nearing the end of November. Um, we may as well just start season 3 in January by now, but I'm open to doing another special emergency episode or two, if you are.
Yep. Let's see what texts hit us between now and then, and in what form.
Mm-hmm.
Will it be paper mache, or a global catastrophe? I'm gonna embark on a reading of Don Quixote as my next project, because I have Carlos as a good resource. I have this Spaniard who's a massive literary freak when it comes to both writing and reading.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I should take advantage of his proximity and embark on Don Quixote. Have you read Don Quixote?
Mm-hmm. A long time ago, yeah.
Did you?
It was
did you
probably.
like it?
I think I read the unabridged version. Yeah, but it's a bit long. Some episodes, it's very episodic, right? Like you can just read any section and enjoy it. But yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, because I talked to a buddy of mine, one of my trainers at the gym, and he's like a massive literary head as well, and he struggled. He didn't get through it, and he's not someone who gives up easily.
I did,
so
but I had to force myself.
I'm a little bit daunted by that, but I'm thinking with Carlos's help, it'll make it come alive more. So
yeah, well, it's very character driven. It's all about Don Quixote and Sancho Panza, and it's like a picaresque adventure with those two. And then what's the love interest? What's her name? Dulcinea.
I'm not sure. Haven't read a page yet.
I may be wrong. I'm revealing my ignorance here. In any case, we'll wrap it up here. If you're listening, well, go to YouTube so you can see all the imagery, all these lovely slides that we shared. I think this will become a regular feature. If you're open to that, I'm certainly using it. I'm talking about the slideshows. I'm using these to, organize my thoughts as I do my other podcasts, Guitar and Pen, and Books Are Burning. So we can certainly, use slides when appropriate here on texting as well. So go to Substack, subscribe to markwillwright.substack.com and tomekb.substack.com, and you can watch this video on YouTube. That is Mark Will Wright, Write. Okay, everybody. Thanks for taking
everyone.
These trips with us, and let us know what you think in the comments.
Do svidaniya.
Farewell.